Date: August 31st, 2007. Location: Tennessee, United States. On the morning of that day, in one of the quiet neighborhoods, retired General Rains, a former police officer and once a prominent figure in his prime, was found dead at his kitchen table. He was dressed in only his undershirt and shorts, a man of 83 years, a warrior against time in every sense, reduced to this tragic end. The circumstances of his death were as chilling as the state in which he was found. A bullet had been fired into his head with cold precision, like an execution carried out without mercy. He was discovered by his friends, Ronald and Tina Williamson, who entered his home only to find his frail body lying peacefully. Death had taken him gently yet eerily, leaving the room cold and devoid of life. The house itself seemed to hold many secrets in its silence. There were no signs of forced entry, no broken windows, no scattered belongings. Even the safe in his bedroom remained untouched and secure. Everything appeared normal, as if life had abruptly ceased without warning. The police were utterly baffled, unable to discern a motive for the crime or how the killer managed to enter without breaking in or leaving a trace. What had happened to this elderly man? And who killed him in such cold blood? When investigators began delving deeper into the life of the victim, something strange caught their attention. Neighbors of General Rains whispered rumors about his private life, rumors revolving around a younger woman he was allegedly dating while his wife battled dementia in a care home. These rumors led detectives to focus on Tina Williamson, the 39-year-old woman who had discovered the body. There was more to the relationship between the elderly general and the young woman than mere friendship, which made the situation both intriguing and shrouded in mystery. Tina Williamson and Jack Rains had worked together in the car trade, a business designed for quick profits. With her sharp eyes and confident demeanor, Tina told police that their relationship never extended beyond professional boundaries. However, not everyone was convinced, especially Jack's family. They began to sense something hidden behind Tina's formal words. There was an unsettling air about her connection to their grandfather, and their suspicions grew day by day. Tina explained to investigators that her relationship with Jack was that of very close friends, claiming he was like family to them. She mentioned that her husband Ron and Jack would often trade firearms and attend gun shows together. Jack would visit their home for dinner and participate in family gatherings. On the surface, their bond appeared to be that of one big happy family. There were small details that made everything seem unnatural, as if a secret lay beneath the surface, one that Jack Rains never wanted anyone to uncover. Jack's family didn't fully trust Tina. Rachel Farley, Jack's granddaughter, stated on a television program, "Over time, he started spending more and more time with Tina, and he stopped visiting us like he used to. It was strange to us." This change in Jack's behavior was deeply unsettling, as if something within him had shifted, steering him toward a life different from the one he had always known. The memories of the elderly grandfather, who was once a symbol of strength and discipline, had become faint and ambiguous. Jack's family struggled to piece together the clues, trying to understand what led him to this tragic end. Rains had been a strong man with a history full of achievements, his life defined by pivotal decisions, whether as a police officer or as a man simply seeking happiness in his twilight years. But over time, that image began to waver, revealing a more vulnerable side of his life. Tina, the young woman who had suddenly entered his life, was part of this side no one had anticipated. Jack had started distancing himself from his family and spending more time with Tina. There was an odd bond between them, one not easily understood or explained. Suspicion grew and questions multiplied. Who exactly was Tina to General Jack Rains? Was she merely a business partner, or did she hold deeper secrets within her heart? Was Jack seeking something in that relationship, perhaps a sense of hope or an escape from his loneliness? These were questions that neither the family nor the police could fully answer. Yet they lingered like dark shadows over the story of a man who had once lived a life of strength and ended his days in an unthinkable manner. When the police spoke with Tina Williamson, her eyes carried a hint of tension she tried hard to conceal. She spoke confidently, affirming that she had seen Jack Rains and had breakfast with him on the morning of his death. She described those moments as ordinary, with nothing suspicious or alarming. The 39-year-old woman told investigators that when Jack didn't answer her calls or return her messages later that day, she grew increasingly concerned. It was then that she and her husband Ron decided to go to his home to check on him. When they arrived, they found the elderly general dead in his kitchen. The medical examiner determined that Jack Rains had died between 10 a.m. and noon on August 31st, 2007. Those hours remained a mystery. No one knew what had transpired during that time. However, the outcome was clear and grim. Ronald Williamson, Tina's husband, had a solid alibi for the time of Jack's murder, as he was at work during those critical hours. This led the police to shift their focus toward Tina, who had access to Jack's house through a key. Suspicion began to grow, and Tina became the central figure in the investigation. At the time of his death, Jack Rains was a wealthy man, and there were several reasons for the police to suspect that money was the motive behind the crime. As they traced Jack's financial affairs, they discovered that Tina and Jack shared a joint bank account that held a remaining balance of $100,000. Furthermore, Tina was on the verge of obtaining ownership of Jack's duplex apartment shortly before his death, intensifying suspicions about her motives. Investigators also learned that just 5 days after Jack's murder, Tina visited the bank and withdrew $10,000 from the shared business account. She had even attempted to withdraw the entire $100,000 balance, but stopped at the last moment, raising further questions about her actions. When police confronted Tina with rumors about her relationship with Jack, she vehemently denied them, her reaction growing defensive and angry. She declared that she loved Jack, but clarified, not that disgusting kind of love. Her words seemed designed to deflect suspicion, but as she spoke, she revealed details that could raise even more doubts. Tina mentioned that Jack had been planning to transfer ownership of his Mercedes to her, but he hadn't signed the documents yet. When the paperwork was shown to the police, it appeared to have bloodstains on it, which puzzled the investigators and led them to send the document for forensic analysis. The medical examiner confirmed that there was blood on the ownership papers, and the blood was identified as Jack Rains. This revelation added to the mounting evidence linking Tina to the crime in a way that could no longer be ignored. During a search of the Williamson residence, police found several personal belongings of Jack's, including his military ID and social security card. These items were clear evidence that Tina had a much closer relationship with Jack than she had claimed. Furthermore, bullets found in the house matched the fragments recovered at Jack's home, and a gun consistent with the murder weapon was also discovered. Tracking Tina's phone locations on the day of Jack's murder revealed inconsistencies in her account. She had claimed to have spent the day at her home in Woodbury, but phone data showed she was 20 miles away in Murfreesboro, where Jack lived. During that time, she made a call to her friend Betty Olson asking for a ride that day, which further heightened suspicions about her actual whereabouts during the crime. All of this evidence pointed to Tina Williamson being far more than just a friend to Jack Rains. She appeared to have strong motives to get rid of him. Financial records, personal belongings, and phone data all indicated her potential involvement in this heinous act. The investigation was coming together like a puzzle, with each new piece tightening the circle around Tina and making her the central figure in this dark crime. In the end, it wasn't just a business relationship or a close friendship. There were far too many hidden secrets woven into the fabric of this connection. Jack's life, which had begun as that of a warrior and leader, ended in mystery and betrayal. Tina's fate was slowly being decided in the courtroom. As the police worked to uncover the truth, they recalled a critical moment when they arrived at the crime scene. Tina had been walking along the road, and when she got into the car, they noticed something odd, a red stain on her clothing that looked suspiciously like blood. Unable to ignore this detail, the officers questioned Tina about the stain. She tried to explain it away casually, claiming it was nothing more than ketchup or perhaps tomato juice from something she'd eaten earlier. However, it was difficult for investigators to believe Tina's naive explanation, as it seemed as if something much larger and more sinister was being concealed. With growing suspicions surrounding Tina Williamson, surveillance footage provided new and compelling evidence. The recordings confirmed that Betty Olson had dropped Tina off near a Walmart just 5 minutes away from Jack Rains' home on the day he was murdered. This raised questions about the purpose of that trip and what might have occurred during it. With the help of the police, Betty Olson agreed to cooperate and wore a wire during a conversation with Tina in an attempt to gather more evidence. In one recorded conversation, Tina was heard telling Betty not to tell the police about the ride she had given her that day. This acted as a tacit admission that Tina was hiding something and that the full truth had not yet been revealed. This moment was pivotal in the investigation as it began to unravel the hidden threads of the story behind Tina's lies and false reassurances. But the final and most damning piece of evidence came from an unexpected source: Jack Rain's underwear. After a thorough analysis, Tina's DNA was found on them, proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that she had been sexually involved with Jack, contrary to her claims all along. This incontrovertible truth was the final blow to the facade Tina had built, proving her dishonesty about the nature of her relationship with Jack. In February 2009, after lengthy and complex court proceedings, a jury found Tina Williamson guilty of Jack Rain's murder. The evidence against her was overwhelming, from the red stains on her clothing to the secret recordings and ultimately the DNA evidence. She was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. This marked the end of a path paved with secrets, deceit, and greed. In a later interview, Anne Louise Rains, Jack's daughter-in-law, said, "I believe money was her primary goal. That's why she initiated the relationship in the first place. She saw him as an easy target, a wealthy, lonely old man nearing the end of his life. She took advantage of his vulnerability." Those words carried a harsh truth. Tina viewed Jack Rains as nothing more than an opportunity for financial gain. She likely saw the elderly man as an open door through which she could secure significant wealth. But the price for her greed was a human life. Jack Rain's life, once filled with accomplishments, ended in a horrific and unjust way. His story became a cautionary tale for anyone seeking trust and security in relationships that seem innocent but may conceal darker intentions. Jack had been searching for companionship in his final years, while Tina sought financial profit. Between these two opposing desires, Jack's life came to a cruel and tragic end.